I'm Ricc Rollins, and this is Going Places. Don't you want to come along? Let's go. Hello and welcome to this edition of Going Places. I hope your morning is amazing. Here's what's coming up on today's show. We'll continue our conversation with actor extraordinaire Rodney Van Johnson. Then we'll talk with Lauren Gay about the Melanated Campout. And we'll begin our conversation with Ryan Watson about his new film, Paper Line. All of this and more coming up on this edition of Going Places, starting, you guessed it, right now. So we talked a lot about what you did. Now let's talk about what you're doing.
Well, right now, I have a couple of projects that are coming up. I have a Christmas movie that's going to be coming out this year. It's called Holiday Hideaway. Holiday Hideaway. And it stars, I have two daughters that are on the show. Well, I have actually two daughters, and Vivica Fox is on. She's there. Also, Camille Wimbush, who was on Bernie Mac. She plays my daughter. Mm-hmm. And then Novi Brown, that's on Tyler Perry's Sisters, she plays my daughter. So that is going to be a very fun Christmas. So that'll be coming out. Also, going to be coming back on Lace. Lace is on All Black TV, and it's a series. So it is a lawyer drama that my daughter's a lawyer, and she's crooked and she gets people off. I'm a reverend, and I have a shady background in real estate, so they really want to bring that character out. That's going to be fun. And then I also have a judge. I play a judge, so I have a new I would say reality show. Only thing I can say is Bible based, and it's going to be very, very interesting.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, so it'll be exciting to see what we do with this. It's a pilot, and hopefully we'll get picked up soon. So that's what I'm doing theatrically.
Okay.
And, commercials.
Okay. And when we didn't talk about, and I just remembered, was Raising Whitley. So let's talk about Raising Whitley for a second. How did you end up on this reality show?
Because it's real.
Yes, it is.
Actually, what happened was Kim was mentoring a young girl who had a substance problem, and he had Josh, and they wanted to put him in the system. And I said no. I said, get him. We'll figure it out. I'll be his father. And what happened was Kim didn't know anything about raising kids because I already had two. And then they said, this is so crazy. You guys have a reality show, and we take it to Lifetime wanted it, and then Oprah says she'll take it. And then the rest is history.
The rest is history. And when Oprah says she's taking it, let's go. Yep. Okay. So you talked about your children. How you have two sons?
I have two boys. Well, I have three with Josh. So
Josh, right.
A 22 and a 17-year-old.
How old is Josh now?
Josh is 12. Well, he turned 11, turning 12.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. And, knowing you, I know that you're that dad. You're the cool dad, but also don't play with you. I do know that about you.
Exactly. You don't want to play. I mean, the thing is, with my kids, I'm very stern with them. I don't like to linger on things. So if we get into it, if I got to get into their butt, I'll say while we're driving, okay, once we get to that stop sign, once we get to that light, it's over. I'm not talking about it. It's behind us. Let's move forward. So that's how I've learned how to, raise them, because you don't want to be mean all day long and mess up the day. And I tell my kids all the time, y'all not messing up my day. Y'all figure it out. And because I'm going to get ice cream,
I'm going to get ice cream. It's like dad's going with or without you. So let's talk about this project, because we're going to take one more break. When we come back, we're going to talk about these other projects that this man is so far beyond the good looks and acting. We got to talk about this before we go. We'll be back right after this.
Hi, I'm Arlene. Welcome to Coffee Speaks and Tea Talks. What's your coffee saying? Whether in for business or just getting away, let Coffee Speaks and Tea Talks be a part of your day. A place for you to come and share thoughts and spirit through a cup of coffee. Come and enjoy with us here at Coffee Speaks and Tea Talks. Coffee Speaks and Tea Talks. Enjoy life one cup at a time.
Welcome back to this edition of Going Places. Before we go, Rodney's been telling us about his new projects, but he's also got other things that he's working on. Rodney, let's talk about those real quick.
Well, right now, I just finished creating a app that will allow youth photographers to take action photos using facial recognition and uniform recognition. What I want to do is I want to see more African-American photographers taking pictures of professional athletes. So they don't have to be an athlete to be in sports, but they can be behind the scenes. So in this program, it's called Hound Dog, where it finds things. And we have it, it's called hounddog.net. So I was able to get grants to get cameras for the young men and women to be able to take pictures. And what we're going to do is we're going to be launching it nationwide. So we're but we're looking at just focusing on kids 13 and under. Because I feel parents want those action shots of those kids because they're captured like that way for life.
That's right.
So I want to be able to train my young photographers who are 18 and under, who are in high school, to take action shots. And then hopefully by 2028, when the Olympics is here in Los Angeles, we'll have more youth photographers on the fields.
Wow. You know, I'm just impressed that you decided to take one thing and make it become many things. And that's one of the things that I love about you. One, that you're a friend through and through, but your talent, the scripture says, and your gift will make room for you. And boy, has it made room for you. You're gonna have to come back because we got to talk, because Rodney's gonna cook. He's also got a cookbook out. We got to talk about that. It's coming up on the QR code. Let's try that again. It's coming up on the QR code right about now. And Rodney, that just means you got to come back, because this has been the fastest half hour we've done in a long time. I appreciate you, man.
I appreciate you, and thank you for all the things you do and your success.
Thank you very much. More Going Places when we come back right after this. When we come back, Lauren Gate takes us to the Melanated Campout right after this.
Hi, I'm Arlene. Welcome to Coffee Speaks and Tea Talks. What's your coffee saying? Whether in for business or just getting away, let Coffee Speaks and Tea Talks be a part of your day. Life is moving, visible with color, sound, and community. Enjoy a cup of coffee at Coffee Speaks and Tea Talks. Coffee Speaks and Tea Talks. Enjoy life one cup at a time.
Thanks, Rick. They don't call me the outdoorsy diva for nothing. I really do enjoy nature and getting outside, and that does include camping. Recently, I had an opportunity to attend the Melanated Campout event in Wrightsville, Georgia. So let's listen to the founders on why they started this event that hosts over 250 Black campers from all across the country to get together for a big old family reunion.
Well, why Melanated Campout? So we like to want to be a part of the narrative that talks about Black people do camp all the time. I can't camp. It's outside. It's this, it's
yes,
that.
you
It's that.
can.
You can camp, and you're not alone. Black people camp. They do camp. So come reconnect with nature, reconnect with one another, have an amazing time.
That's right. That's right.
The Melanated Campout event this year was hosted at the D&D Campground, which is actually a Black-owned campground. You had the option of doing primitive in a tent, or you could stay in an RV. There was even an option to do tent camping. I saw all kinds of setups at this event. You can definitely make it as comfortable as you need it to be for you. The grounds were gorgeous. There was a lake where you could fish or kayak or even do fishing lessons. But one of my favorite events for the weekend was the water fight. It was epic. The water fight was the perfect way to cool down and just relax and be a kid again. They also had a giant water slide. I did do the water slide. This video actually went viral on Instagram with almost 500,000 views. What makes Melanated different is that there are so many planned activities. You've got the cigar lounge, you had line dancing classes, a twerk cardio class. You had so many different things to choose from. They had empowerment sessions with speakers. They also had yoga. They had a live music show. We had a comedian show. But the lip sync battle definitely was one of my favorite activities. People dressed in costume and really got into it. And don't get me started on the parties and the open bar. Nighttime was definitely a good time. They did offer a meal plan if you didn't want to be bothered with cooking at your campsite, but you were certainly welcome to do that and fire up your grills. Just listen to that sizzle. And it wouldn't be a proper family reunion vibe without the snow cone man. Oftentimes when you visit a campground, you won't see other melanated people that look like you, but the great thing about melanated is that you might come as a stranger, but you're going to leave as family. I would definitely do this again next year, but it was a little hot for me, so I think I would opt to be in an RV next time. So what do you say, Rick? You down for Melanated next year?
More Going Places right after this.
I'm Arlene. Welcome to Coffee Speaks and Tea Talks. What's your coffee saying? Whether in for business or just getting away, let Coffee Speaks and Tea Talks be a part of your day. A place for you to come and share thoughts and spirit through a cup of coffee. Come and enjoy with us here at Coffee Speaks and Tea Talks. Coffee Speaks and Tea Talks. Enjoy life one cup at a time.
I'm honored this morning to have a professor, a cinematographer, an award-winning producer, filmmaker, educator, storyteller, trailblazer, writer, again, producer, director of not just one project, but many projects. Won't you welcome Ryan to this edition of Going Places? Thank you for being with us today, sir.
Thank you for having me.
So let's talk. I want to talk about Paperline. We'll get to that. But I want to talk about Ryan growing up in Bmore and coming in Baltimore. What was that like for you? When did this light bulb come on that says, I can, I will, I shall?
Growing up in Baltimore. Okay, so I lived in Baltimore from 0 to 13.
Mm-hmm.
And towards the end of 12, my mom started to notice that I was developing some habits that were probably going to lead me down the wrong path. My parents had been separated for quite some time, and my mom, in her infinite wisdom, decided that it was time for a change of scenery for me. And she sent me to live with my father down in Collier County, which was like, if you know anything about Florida, you know that Collier County is probably one of the most, if not the most conservative cities in the country. So you go from Baltimore, which is the most liberal city in the country, probably, to being in the most conservative city in the country. And it was a big time culture shock. And at the time, mental health was not what it is now. There was no emphasis on mental health and stuff like that. So it was just kind of one of those things where it was like, you know, baptism by fire. I'm down in Florida. I had this weird, much maligned Baltimore accent, which still slips out on me every now and then, depending on who I'm talking to and what I'm saying. And you know, it was a learning curve, because like things in Baltimore were not going well academically. You know, just the neighborhood was getting worse, and I was getting older and just being more of a knucklehead. And my mom, she did right by me to send me away. So I didn't really straighten up and stop being a knucklehead until I was probably about 16.
Okay.
But the difference of being a knucklehead in Baltimore versus being a knucklehead down south somewhere, it's different. Like there's a lot less for you to get into trouble wise, and you know, you won't get yourself hurt. And it was the best thing for me. But I still would go back, you know what I'm saying, summers, spring break, Christmas, Thanksgiving, every holiday, every chance I got, I was back up there, until my mom eventually moved to Florida as well. And then at that point, I think I was probably like 17 when she finally moved down. And then 2 years later, I was at USF.
Okay, but you know, the whole time you were telling that story, why was I hearing the theme song from the Fresh Prince? I swear, it was like, it's almost the same story, that you needed to get out of there, and they moved you to a place that gave you a whole different mindset. That's
yeah. Yeah. The Ryan Watson that is before you right now would not exist without that move. I just don't see it. A lot of things happened that as to why it happened. I remember I guess sort of the flashpoint was I got all of my friends in fifth grade. I was a very good student, like K through 5. And then at the end of 5, we all applied to get into a magnet school. And like a lot of my friends got in, but somehow I didn't.
Oh, wow.
And so I ended up going to the school that wasn't the best school.
Mm-hmm.
And that's when everything sort of
It went left.
took a nosedive. Yeah.
Mhm.
And
Wow.
by then it was probably like a year and a half. My mom was like, yeah, you got to go.
And thank God for mom knowing, like you said, in her infinite wisdom.
She
So,
knew.
so was it before USF or after you got to USF that you developed this love for film and storytelling?
I always had the love in high school. One of the things that I got very good at was just being like a cameraman, being a videographer. I remember one of my first trips back to Baltimore after I moved was to go to my sister's high school graduation.
Mm-hmm.
And my mom had purchased a camcorder for that. So immediately I was like, yo, let me use this. Like, I want to play around with this. And me and my nephew and my cousins, we would start doing like wrestling videos. This is during the time when like Stone Cold and Shawn Michaels and those guys were on top, and all we wanted to do was watch wrestling.
Wow.
And so we were just making videos on that, and I just had a knack for it. I don't know how to explain it other than I watched a lot of TV growing up, probably more than I should have been watching. And it just turned into like, me like, yo, like I want to do this in some way, shape, or form.
Yes.
Fast forward, high school happens. Somebody saw me messing around with a camera. I took a TV production class. My stuff came out pretty good. Next thing you know, coaches are hitting me up like, hey, we need someone to film our softball games, our basketball games, our football, our baseball games. Would you like to do it? And you can get some extra credit in your classes. I'm like, yeah, man, let's do it. And I was very knowledgeable on sports. Like I had a very good, I was pretty good at basketball. I never played in high school, but I was good enough to sort of compete with some of the guys that were on the varsity level. I was a real good baseball player, which is what I in hindsight, I should have stuck with it because I could have got my school paid for. But I had a natural ability to use the camera, and I knew my sports. So at that point, that was how I got into just using the cameras, and then just again watching TV and mimicking the things I saw on WWE and some other movies and stuff like that. And then that led me to go to USF. And I dug myself in a bit of a hole in high school, so I couldn't go immediately. I had to do 2 years at Edison State College in Fort Myers. But fortunately, because I graduated at 17 years old, it didn't really set me back too bad to do the 2 years at junior college. So by the time I got to USF, I was a junior and I was still only 19. So like when I got here, I wanted to be a sportscaster because I knew my sports.
Okay.
But then I saw myself on camera and I was like, nah, I don't like this. The accent work was insane that I would have had to do to learn to get rid of the Baltimore twang, which had now mutated into this Southern South Florida / Baltimore twang. It was going to be too much. And then so when I looked at how much money it was going to cost and how much time it would cost for me to work to lose my accent, and you can see that I was already good enough to be a videographer. I was like, yeah, let me just stick to where I'm at.
Stay in my lane. Yeah.
Right.
So, but you know what, when you said that about the junior college, I think that for some people, that's a testament to sometimes you just have to take a different path, but it'll still get you to the same direction and the same destination. So that, shout out to the junior colleges all over the country, especially here in Florida, that have helped so many young people transition properly because they still needed that, because the institution may have eaten them up.
Yeah, because what happens is when you go to the community college, like it's still more of an intimate setting.
Yes.
Everyone is not ready. I was not ready to go to a campus at 17 years old and be sitting in an auditorium with 400 people. I'm not even a person. I'm just a student number. Like that, I wouldn't have done well. And so the junior college situation that I had, it was perfect for me. And I used to have a faculty member who would sit in faculty meetings and get mad. So I'm talking about, oh, I don't want these junior college students. And I'm like, yo, you don't even know. Like, they work harder for me. Like the junior college students that come out is like, my experience has been like, they've been really good. They've been hungrier. They've been like they want it, like they appreciate the opportunity a lot more, in many cases, more so than the folks who go straight out of high school and then they just, you know,
Mm-hmm.
that's just my personal, I shouldn't speak for everybody. That's my personal.
But it's your experience, and we're talking about your. Well, we're almost out of time. We continue our conversation with Ryan Watson next week, and there'll be so much more. Until then, be safe on your journey, and remember, we are going places, but we don't want to go without you. We'll see you next time. Take care.
What?